So The Secret radically transformed my life, 2006, 2007. A simplistic book that teaches you that thoughts become things. But if it was that simple, there'd be a lot more people successful. So I give a big shout out to Rhonda Bryan and what she created of a book that tapped people into truly what I think is a biblical thing. There is so many things within the Bible that talk about the deep subconscious mind. And so today I'm going to share some stories in the Bible, and I'm going to go to some practical application that I've applied in my life, and it's radically transformed my life. So that way we can bring the spiritual, the metaphysical, and the Bible together and show that the Bible is truly an embodiment in the greatest book ever written of a story of humanity. So let's think about this for just a moment. Thoughts become things. And you always hear the saying, if you only use 10% of your brain. Well, let's look at it this way. 10% of your brain is the carnal mind, which is left hemisphere of the brain. The right hemisphere of the brain is the 90%. So if you look at a picture, if you type in subconscious mind on Google, you'll see a picture of a rock outside of the water and then a big, huge subconscious mind on the bottom. 10% is the carnal mind, left hemisphere, and 90% is the right hemisphere. Now, to think about it for just a moment, being a physical being, having a physical experience, you would think that the logical mind, the left hemisphere of the brain, all the physical things you're experiencing would be the most important, but that's not true. The subconscious is by far the most important. And I'm going to give you some biblical stories that connected for me, that I applied biblically and physically, that radically transformed my life to peace, freedom, and family structure. So remember when Jesus they're out there on a boat, right? I think there was 3 men in the boat, and if I get that incorrect, please comment down below. But there's 3 men in the boat, and they were fishing on the left side of the boat. There's so many stories in the Bible that will teach you subconscious mind and how powerful it is. So they're fishing on the left side of the boat. They're casting their nets, kind of like when I was running my businesses in the left hemisphere of the brain, in a logical mind as a broken little boy that had no contextual balance in between my divine feminine, divine masculine, my left and my right. I was spinning my circles. I was buying into this grind culture. So you have to work 19 hours a day. I kept throwing my nets, just like Solomon, right? But all of a sudden, Jesus says, hey, psst, throw your nets over to the right. They're in the same spot, in the same ocean, and he cast their nets to the right. Maybe he just knew that there was fish on the right side of the boat, and they're all hiding from the left. But logically, what that told me is they cast their nets over to the right, and they caught an abundance of fish. And if you take the number and you add those 3 numbers together, it equals 9, which is a powerful number of God. Fish also represent wisdom. Many Christians have the fish on the back of their card. Maybe they don't know why they have that, but it represents wisdom. And when a fish goes down below the surface of the water, if you see the little boat on top of the water, the fish goes under the water. It's massive. It's expansive. You can keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. That is the subconscious mind. So the left side of the brain is the carnal mind. It's the lower frequency. Okay, you're going down the frequency field. It's facts, figures, numbers. Well, let's give you another biblical story to maybe lock this in. Moses, he goes to an acacia bush. It's giving off smoke. He goes up into the right of the mountain. The right of the mountain. You know, acacia bush, smoke, goes up to the right of the mountain. When he gets up to the top, during that process, he turns a snake into a staff. Interesting. What does the snake also represent? The Kundalini. What is on your doctor's symbol? A cross with a snake. Sometimes they cross divine feminine and divine masculine. They're giving you it all hidden in plain sight all over the place, guys. He goes up into the right. As soon as he gets to God, I'm paraphrasing. He gets to God. I'm just pretending I'm in the story like I'm Moses. He gets to God. I've experienced this, guys. I've saw God face to face. I called it pineal. I got that from Jacob. So as he goes up, he sees God face to face, and he goes to God, and what does he do? Left hemisphere of the brain. I have a speech impediment. I'm an old man, blah, blah, blah. Everything we do when someone gives us a compliment. What do? We go into the carnal mind. God says, we're not playing these games, Moses. Your job is to go free the mentally enslaved people. And he says, call me the great I am. The word I am. In the secret, manifestation, okay? Manifestation and what? Affirmations. The great I am. So Moses goes down. He sees all these slaves and they're like, who are you, dude? He has a staff though. He mastered the Kundalini, got to see God face to face. He told him he's the great I am. He said, I'm the great I am. The great I am sent me. They drop all their stuff because they believe in him, because he's truly embodying and living it. not being a Christian because he goes to church. Christians didn't exist back then, but he was a Gnostic, he was knowing, and they all walk away with him. And then he parts the Red Sea with that staff that he mastered the snake into the Kundalini, opens up their mind, they go into the desert, then they lose faith, and God says snakes to bite them. Doesn't that sound like us, though, if you really think about that? Doesn't that sound like the conscious and subconscious mind? Your subconscious is your belief system. It's what you tell yourself when you pray in your closet, when you're in the darkness. If you say, I'm a loser, I am not worthy, I am not worth it, as soon as you open your eyes, your pineal gland activates. Everything you see within the physical reality is a manifestation of you, of your creation, of God's embodiment speaking through you. So it's time to start the conversation what the secret is really about. It's a story of the Bible. It's a story of Christ's consciousness. It's a story of resurrection. It's a story of what's possible for you by changing your thoughts, therefore changing your actions, therefore controlling your reactions, and knowing that you have free will in the process. So the left hemisphere of the brain and the right hemisphere of the brain, cast your nets to the right and see what happens with your life.